was that? Never mind that. What was that?
Hi!
Who are you?
Barf!
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Nah, that's my name. Barf!
Barf? What are you?
Here we go. BARFF Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 4, Episode 9. I'm Brian the Commish, and joining me live here in the studio tonight.
Yes.
Back to normal a little bit. Owner Born to Run Walt here. Walt, it's great to have you back in the studio.
It's great being back in the sanctity of BARFF HQ. I love being here.
Yes, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot of interesting topics came up last week, and to be honest, I'm going to be making a lot of this up as I go along because I didn't really, I wasn't really in a position to look and see how everyone was doing with the questions that we left hanging. We were talking off air about the trades and how that delayed trade was going to work out for people. So we'll jump in. We'll start to look at last week's action, and I guess we're going to find out together how it all went down. So when we look at week 8, where do you want to start?
I mean, let's start with the heartbreak of my game again. This is a reoccurring story, unfortunately.
I can't remember the last time we talked so much about hard luck Born to Run, but it definitely is a theme this year where you just don't seem to be able to get out of this rut where a couple of bounces here and there are ruining you. And this time you come up against Huey Lewis in the News. Huey Lewis improves to 4-4 with a 126-116 victory over Born to Run, which drops you to 1-7.
Oof.
What happened?
So, I think, again, I said this off air, I can do no right this year. It's somehow, I think I'm going to have to, I don't know if they're Seinfeld fans, but there was a time when George was going to do the opposite. I think I'm going to adopt the opposite strategy because anything I try to do, it doesn't pan out. So what happened, I had Dak in there for a little while.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. Stroud's got a good matchup. We didn't have to trade. That went through. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, of course, I keep Stroud in. And what happens if I had Dak in there? Dak goes off, I would have won. But, it's one of these things. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And even with that, I thought it was in good shape. Sure. And then friggin', Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta single-handedly do me in. So what are you going to do?
30 points for Jahmyr Gibbs. Huey's been waiting for that.
Yep.
It seems like all year long, and they're figuring it out, working that guy back into the lineup more and more, and he blows up for Detroit this week at the wrong time for you. On your side of the ball, James Cook, 7 points. James Cook was a player much like, we've been talking about Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts, we've been talking about for 2-3 years, but James Cook, all the fantasy prognosticators were talking this guy up. You're going to be able to get good value on him later, and he's going to pan out to be that RB1. Is this, if we take the discussion of Calvin Ridley out of it, is this your biggest disappointment?
Ooh, Kyle Pitts has to be in that discussion as well because it's tough to rule him out. I mean, wow, my team there's a lot of people in this discussion. Bijan definitely's got to be in that talk as well. Yep. But I mean, Cook definitely, I thought I could count on him to be a little better tier 2 back, and he's not really panned out that way. So, I guess the bright side is, my one trade with worst team ever, maybe I got the better of it because Waddle had a great day. Pollard, I think, had like 6 points.
Yeah, Pollard had a pedestrian day.
Yep. And Dak had 31, so I don't know. It's one of these things. I will say this, BTR's contemplating moving headquarters to California where they allow assisted suicide. So there might be, this might be it. I don't know.
Hey, listen, you can make it through these seasons.
Yeah.
I know this. So who do you lose now? So you played with this roster this week, but you don't get this roster next week.
Right.
So who goes out of town?
Yeah, so we got, we lose Bijan, and of course we look Chris Godwin. Of course, on the way out, he throws up 17 points.
Right.
But, I think overall, I think having, let's talk about that. Of course, Addison's got wide receiver 12 ranked.
Yeah.
I make the trade.
And then
Kirk Cousins
the
tears
Achilles occurs. Like, you talk about snake.
It just goes on and on.
Born to stumble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible when you can't see these things coming.
No, and there's like no light at the end of the tunnel. But I would have liked, to me, that really Cooper's actually a halfway decent receiver, and my receiving core would have looked halfway decent.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows what's going to happen? Whoa.
All right, joining us on the line, the owner of Team Soarin Eagles. Seems to be out somewhere. Jordan's on the line. Jordan, can you hear us?
I'm here. It's not the off season, but we're on the course. I've actually found Sox fan 87.
Whoa!
This is a
he's with us.
Nice.
Big supporter of the Sotie Pantloads. So
I love it.
You got both of us on the line.
Was he begging for change? That's why you saw him there?
No, he's having a decent round.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I expect to hear a lot of pro Sotie from Sotie's biggest fan.
I would think so.
I'm impressed that you went out into the world, and of all places, the golf course. We found Sox fan 7687. That's impressive.
Yep.
Jordan, we were just talking about Born to Run taking on Huey Lewis and falling to 1-7. Any thoughts between you and Sox fan 7687 on this slide that Born to Run has been on this year?
There's not much to say about the slide that Born to Run has been on, other than it's a slide. Tough draft and just tough in-season moves. Made some desperate moves to try to make something happen, but nothing's happened yet.
Nothing has
It's
happened
kind of
yet.
what we're looking at.
Well, I think it's even other owners are disrespecting me. We got the Soarin Eagles. I'm in town. I invite them out, and they can't make it. But then I see the next night they're painting the town red. They're out. What's going on? I'm like,
wait a minute. I thought Soarin Eagles, for sure. I can tell you where they were on Saturday. They were nursing their dogs. They were
he looked like he was nursing a Jack and Ginger, is what I think I saw him nursing.
That was pre-planned.
I love it. I'm just going to pop over to check the chat. Christian's on. Christian says the last time they saw Sox fan, he was on Mass Ave, moving up in the world as he's out in Colorado. There's been a lot of Sox fan sightings that I don't know about. This is great. I thought he was an anonymous.
It might be like Putin. There might be body doubles for a Sox fan. I don't know.
That's pretty impressive. Oh, wait. Oh, so someone else is weighing in. I think Koos was weighing in, and I cut it off. I think he's asking, where is Sox fan? So, Jordan, could you be a little more specific? You are on the golf course of Colorado. This is correct?
17th hole.
Nice.
17th hole. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you calling in. Stay on the line for as long as you can. Feel free to step off and make a couple good shots while you're at it.
We're going to switch back and forth.
Beautiful.
I like it. All right. So that was Huey Lewis moving to 4-4, a great position at this point in the season. And Born to Run falls to 1-7. I'm not going to play the bomb graphic because we've already seen it. 1-7. Mathematically, you're alive.
That's all I could ask for at this point in the season.
That's what we'll say. What game do you want to look at next?
Well, this was, we hyped it up. Whopper Moppers and no lineup, but it ended up not being too much of a contest.
It was not the game that we thought it was going to be. Whopper Moppers goes to 6-2. They're our first place team, taking out no lineup needed, 135 to 119. No lineup needed falls to 3-5, trying desperately to pick up that fourth win, and they fall short. Still out of playoff status. Walt, what happened in this game?
Basically, Patrick Mahomes caught the flu,
yeah,
and he tried to play with it.
Yeah, and he brought Travis Kelce with him.
And he brought Travis
What
Kelce
a torturous game for no lineup to watch.
Yeah, there was no reason for that. To me, it was just, I can feel for no lineup. It was just bad luck. There's nothing else more than that. You can't. When's Patrick Mahomes only going to put up 8 points?
I know.
I mean, that just doesn't happen.
I know. It looks terrible. And you get 41 points from CeeDee Lamb, and anytime that you get 41 points from a player, you're in such a great position. You can have bad luck, but you can't have the top three of your lineup go single digits. You can't overcome it.
Absolutely, yeah. And so it's unfortunate, and the Moppers, again, nice victory. However, now they got to deal with the loss of Kirk Cousins, and I can vouch for, if you go out on the waiver line, not a lot of good QBs hanging out there.
That is hard. Christian's weighing in. Yeah, he doesn't really want this discussion to happen. Someone stole the Chiefs' signs. That could be. That seems to be a thing right now.
Yeah.
And he's vowing that he will be in the playoffs, and I love the confidence.
I love that too. But I mean, Kirk Cousins, the 5th-ranked quarterback.
Yeah, so Whopper Moppers has some work to do now, and they're in a great spot for this to happen. Jordan, if you're in first place coming past the halfway point of the season, but then your QB1 who has been playing, he's a top 5 QB in fantasy football, goes out for the season. Now he's done. Does that turn a first place team into someone struggling a little bit to survive?
This is a question for JJ. We have Sotie Pantloads on the phone.
Wait a minute. So you're with Sox fan too?
Whoa, Sotie's with Sox fan. This is amazing. We've got 3 people on the line. Kyle, what do you think about this? Whopper Moppers just loses their quarterback. I mean, Kirk Cousins doesn't get respect in the fantasy football world or really the NFL world, but he consistently puts up numbers. He's been a steady force for Whopper Moppers, and now he's gone. And there, as Walt just said, there's not much out there. Is this a little bit of panic time for Whopper Moppers?
Yeah, I think it is, because the only option he really has is like Sam Howell, which is a little scary. Like, he could put up like 1 point in a week. So I'd say the alarms are sounding for Tom right now.
Yeah,
he might have to make a move with somebody that's out there.
Yeah, he certainly has some assets that he you just don't want to. You just don't want to move too much. I mean, he's very strong with wide receivers, I think. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Dak Prescott would look good on this roster. I don't know. Maybe.
This could be some solicitation.
Yeah, maybe.
That's fine.
Hey, Sotie, did I just hear Fore in the background? Was there a yell for that?
Well, Tommy's on the chat. Everyone's forgetting Joey B.
Sorry. You're off the back.
He's got Burrow. He's right.
He's got. Why did I not?
Me too. I completely missed. He's got Joey B. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom's okay.
Yeah. That's a player that he would have liked to have had in the lineup this week, regardless, and the team's coming around.
Oh, Burrow looked amazing. So, yeah, we hit the panic button for you, Moppers. So, you're good.
Moppers are good. Yeah, Koos is being cordial on the chats as well. So, very good. Very good. Yeah, we totally spaced on Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to have Kirk Cousins go out, get Joe Burrow.
Wow, tough position to be in. Yeah, no doubt.
Forget what I said about panic. All right, let's get out of this game before we embarrass
ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, a team that struggled, I think, to put up points, all of a sudden put 152. Let's look at the Beans.
The Boston Beans. I don't have it in front of me, but I think this may be the 6th straight win. 6th straight, I think. 152 to 120 over the Hard-Luck Springfield Rifle.
A thumping.
It is a beating. They moved to 6-2 in second place. High score of the week, and they take out the Rifle, who fall down to 9th place. Walt, keys to the Boston Beans victory.
I mean, just good scoring up and down the lineup. The worst score is by the defense, which is what you expect. I mean, 30 from Hurts, 29. Everybody chipped in. Lockett, 22. Scary Terry. I mean, it was just well-balanced scoring up and down his lineup.
Absolutely. That's how you win. And he continues to start Najee Harris, and Najee paid off for him. With that, 10 points isn't really what you want out of that RB spot, but it's better than 2 or 3. So Jaylen Warren only got 6. He made the right call. Could have put Kareem Hunt in, but this is all hindsight. It's always 2020.
And the best part is, I'm only 1 game out of 9th place. Because the Rifle's 2-6.
Rifle fall to 2-6. Totally, they're not getting consistent
effort
out of Matthew Stafford. They didn't have Miles Sanders in the lineup, posting that 0. They could have started Rashid Shaheed, but would you over Keenan Allen?
I mean, how do you make? You can't make that move.
You don't make that move,
right?
So that's just a hard luck week. 24 points from resurgent George Kittle, which is good for them, but that's rough. Derrick Henry is playing better, but you've got to get consistency from that quarterback position, or else they're not going to be able to even out.
Yeah. Oh boy, what's going on here? It sounds like there's a tussle between Sox fan Sotie and the Soarin Eagles.
I think we might have just been tossed in a golf ball.
I don't know what happened there.
All right, so
Did I lose you guys?
No, we hear you. We hear a lot of like something's going on there.
I think the cart might have been moving.
It's fall golf. There's some bumps.
Yes. So the Beans, on the strength of that performance, move up to 6-2, and they have been untouchable lately. It's been over a month, and all that they're doing is winning.
Yeah, I mean the receivers are chipping in nicely, and I mean he's getting one hell of a year out of Christian McCaffrey and Jalen Hurts, so that's a nice tandem right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy seems to be leaving us. He's on his way to Sonic. Coos isn't going. I guess he was napping. But he's not napping in fantasy football. With
No, he's not.
So that's good news for the Beans. Where do you want to go next?
Let's talk about another thumping. The Soarin Eagles over worst team ever.
Soarin Eagles take
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk. You got some grievances there, I hear, as well.
Let's do it.
I wouldn't call them grievances. I'd call them clarifications.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, the Soarin Eagles take out worst team ever with ease, 148-111. They move to 5-3, third place team. Worst team ever falls to 5-3, and they fall behind Soarin Eagles in the standings. Jordan, clarify some things for us from your team this week based on what you heard on the pod last week.
So there seemed to be some talk that people didn't think Gus Edwards was in the lineup on purpose. I mean, that's just crazy talk to think that Soarin Eagles wouldn't put anybody in their lineup on purpose. That's all I have to say.
Gus Edwards was a little bit maligned last week. There wasn't a lot of confidence in that start, but he comes up with 29 huge points right when Soarin Eagles needed a big performance, and they carried it through. Walt, key to the game?
Yeah, I mean, he rode the bus, as he said, and I mean, 29 points, that's impressive. And the other good, bright spot was there was a lot of chatter about Tyreek Hill. He had that hip. Was he going to play, not going to play? And the Cheetah is the man this year. He's on pace for 2155, I think, yards is what I heard today. Like, that might be the best pick of the whole draft right there.
Yeah, right now that's looking like the best move that anyone made in the first round. Tyreek Hill puts up every week, and he's got Amon-Ra is right behind him. He's got really good production from the wide receiver spot, and when he gets 29 points from Gus Edwards, that solidifies the running back position. That's a very formidable team you're looking at with Soarin Eagles.
Yep, and then flip it. Maybe Ty shouldn't have taken Pollard from me because I don't know if I brought some bad mojo over.
Yeah,
6 points.
6 points.
You cannot get that out of Tony Pollard.
And that's not 6 points. And Dallas put up like
exactly
10. They scored 43 points.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's alarming.
That's very alarming.
Chris Olave is just not the player that all the we talked about James Cook earlier. The prognosticators, the experts that were pumping everybody up before the draft. Chris Olave just has not been able to come through. And so, you're better off with Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is a sleeper.
I still can't get over that.
Yeah. I don't think that DeAndre Hopkins stays out of this starting lineup anymore.
I mean, from, you got Will Levis in there, and I mean, you might have to throw him in.
That's Will Levi's to you, according to Soarin Eagles.
Will Levi. I love it. They're letting him throw that ball around, and he looks good. So we'll see. I don't know that Ryan Tannehill is going to.
Yeah, no. Hey, I heard Sox fan 3276 had a large bet on Will Levi last night.
Whoa. What kind of...
That's rumors.
Rumors? Because I heard he's got a gambling problem, the Sox fan.
Oh, boy.
Sotie does, not Sox fan.
Oh, okay.
So he might.
There's another clarification.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Jordan, before we move away from this game, was that the only clarification that we needed? Was the Gus Edwards being a solid play?
They want to know about Gus Edwards being a solid play. Look, Gus Edwards isn't going to be a solid play every week. So you get a juicy matchup like that, you're going to take it.
Yeah. All right, I can't argue.
I mean, he made the right call. I can't criticize anyone at this point. So
His shot got
Aaron Jones has been nursing a hamstring all year. I'm not going to put him in the lineup over a guy who's
no
going to run hard.
No question.
I'm so tired of hearing about hamstring injuries. I
Yep.
can't handle it. We'll talk about that another time. But there's got to be something that can be done about this constant. Guys are missing 8 weeks with hamstrings.
It's toes and hamstrings.
Right.
It's like it's crazy.
Right. The most sophisticated medical supervision in the history of any sport is with the NFL, and it's constantly hamstrings and toes. All right, that leaves us with
the Pantloads.
The Pantloads moving to 5-3, 132 to 101, just dismantling the Knuckleheads. Knuckleheads fall to 3-5, 8th place. Kyle, if you're on over there, can you tell us about the key to your victory this week?
He's got to hit his drive, so give him like
2 seconds. No, take 2. It goes 5 feet in front of him. He'll be back to the phone.
And he's got to hit it again.
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's gonna be 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, Walt, you tell me. You look at this. The Knuckleheads really didn't put up a fight, and Sotie Pantloads moving in 5-3. This is a contender for top spot.
Yeah, definitely. You see, the way the Bengals look. Joe Burrow, 19 completions in a row. I mean, he was amazing. The fade pass he threw to Jamar. So, when you got Jamar Chase, you got, and I like Garrett Wilson, that's nice problem to have. I wish I did. Now, Lamar had a kind of a down day, but he got 17 out of Rachaad White, which you don't expect. So, yeah, a pretty well-balanced day. But, going forward, how much is that Kirk Cousins injury going to have on the whole league, including worst team ever with Justin Jefferson that's slated to come off the
that's sad. Sad.
And then of course the Devontae Adams, maybe that's going to get shaken up now but that's a bad situation.
I mean, that I immediately registered a protest with the league after this game, and the coach got fired. So Josh McDaniels, don't screw with the Knuckleheads like this. 2 points for Devontae Adams. You're out. That's what happens. Put your stuff in a bag, hit the curb.
Exactly. And here's the biggest question: who's more disappointing, Waller or Pitts?
Oh boy.
Because I had them both on my radar.
Yeah, that's tough. It's pretty. I might say I'd rather have that. You're getting more points out of Pitts. I mean, Waller had a couple of good games,
which has made him, tight end 9. Right. Yeah.
And now he's got, once again a hamstring.
Yep.
He's not playing this week, and I don't expect to see him for a few weeks. I don't know what's going to be left when he comes back. It's not great. At least Devonta Smith got some work. I don't know. Nick Sirianni pisses everybody off, and he's not to Josh McDaniels level, but. You never know what you're going to get with that offense. So if I can get some plays for Devonta Smith moving forward, I'm just happy with my team. I'm getting offers for some trades, and they're good offers. No one's looking to fleece me, but they just seem to be sideways moves. And
not really helping.
Like it's kind of like trade. For me, it would kind of be a trade to make a trade. So.
Yeah, and Mixon against San Francisco looked awesome.
Yeah, he did. He looked good.
Yeah, so you got some guys,
There's been some interest in Joe Mixon.
Oh, no doubt. I could see that. And Drake London now.
Yeah, he's hurt now though.
Oh, did he get hurt?
Yeah, they started. They made the quarterback change, and he's hurt. So.
Oh.
Yeah, he's. I think he'll continue to be up and down now because of that. Maybe they get a little better quarterback play, but it's not going to help because he won't be in the lineup. So. We'll see. So 3-5 for Knuckleheads, but 5-3. Sotie Pantloads looking really solid.
Yep, definitely.
Is Sotie back on the line? Does he stop hitting his 3 drives or no?
He's still got to hit his drive, but I'll tell you what, the Soats are. I'd love to say that they're hitting above their weight, but they have a team to be around where they are in the standings. That's what the Eagles will say about Soats.
All right. That's good insight. 5-3, but 5th place. So that's interesting. That just shows that there haven't been a lot of high-powered performances, but maybe this is a building block for them. So that's it for week 8. Let's take a look at the standings. Hopefully I'll get them for the right year coming up on the screen because that always helps. And we've got Whopper Moppers at 6-2. Boston Beans also at 6-2. Those are our top 2 teams. You got 5-3 for Soarin Eagles and Worst Team Ever and Sotie Pantloads pulling in there. Huey Lewis and the News is our only 4-4 team, and I really believe that's where you really, if you're been a team that's been in and out of that bottom four, you want that fourth win this week, and they got it. And then you've got no lineup, Knuckleheads at 3-5, Rifle at 2-6, and Born to Run at 1-7. Everyone's mathematically alive, but it's not looking really great for some of the teams down the bottom, especially when you look at the point outage. It's just not.
Yeah, exactly. But the one thing that's still good at this time, there's still hope, and and I look at it that way.
There's hope.
There was the miracle on the Hudson. I'm looking for the miracle on the Merrimack. To run out 6 straight and get in the conversation.
I mean, the Beans have won 6 straight.
That's what I mean. It can be done.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah. I tell you, I had higher hopes for this team this year. I like my team. I lost the game by 1 point, and I lost the game by 3 points. So I could be a 5-win team too. So
no question about it.
No fire sale at Knuckleheads yet, so we'll see. Jordan, you're pulling in Soarin Eagles, third place, 5-3. You're the top 5-3 scorer, and I believe, let me just double check, you are our leader in points for this season. We're past the halfway point. Do you see this continuing for Soarin Eagles? You're jockeying for playoff position, not worried about getting a playoff spot?
Soarin Eagles just teed off, so I will jump in for Soarin Eagles here on how I feel about his team. I think he's in a good spot. I think he's kind of destined for playoffs. Pretty good idea of the playoff picture, and I feel like Soarin Eagles is actually like one of the top 2 teams that can feel pretty good about where they're at. But this week will be tough because he's got a lot of bye week issues. But after that, Soarin Eagles are soaring, and I'm just saying that because I'm in a golf car with them. So,
Kyle, you won 2 straight now. The victory over Knuckleheads was your 2nd straight, so you went from 3 wins to 5 wins. This is the time you want to do that. Does that continue for you?
I hope so. It's a good time to continue it against Born to Run. No offense, Born to Run.
None taken. I mean, it gets to a point where it doesn't matter to me, but it's embarrassing to the other team if they lose to my team. So I'm in a good position that way.
Hey, that's a great segue to move into next week, and the first game that we'll talk about is Born to Run taking on Sotie Pantloads. It's early for projections, but right now ESPN has this one going the Sotie Pantloads way with ease, 125 to 109. Kyle, do you keep Born to Run on their losing streak this week?
I like to think so. I feel like my matchups are pretty strong. Ideally, I do. I don't really have anybody out. I mean, the only thing is like Kirk Cousins is hurt for Hawkinson, but I don't think that'll like make a difference here. So yeah, I'm liking Sotie's chances this week.
All right. Well, looking to you. You if you're going to make a run, it starts now. Can you beat Sotie Pantloads this week?
I mean, it's fantasy football. Anything's possible. I mean, I do think there's a couple of matchups on, Sotie's side that, I mean, a little tougher, I would think. You got, DK against Baltimore. That's not a great matchup, I don't think, with Baltimore's defense.
Right.
Hawkinson, who knows? Maybe that's a 1-point game, and I get lucky that way.
Right.
And, and I look at, I mean, I don't love some of my matchups, but like Cooper against Arizona, I got Deshaun Watson back in the lineup, supposedly.
Yep.
So that turns that around.
Yep.
I think Waddle's ready to start taking off. I think he's going to be really solid.
If you're going to get a great game out of Waddle, it's going to be this week. Like that game should be a shootout.
Exactly. So we'll see. I mean, it's tough to go against the Pantloads in this one. So let's play the opposite. I predict the Pantloads will win in a easily. In a rout.
We're going to embrace the Costanza theory.
Yes.
And we're going to do opposite. I love it. Kyle, DK is in your lineup this week. Is he week to week for you? Is he not that every week set it and forget it anymore? Kyle's hitting the ball.
He's looking for a ball.
He's looking for a ball.
I'll answer for him.
The show might be over by the time he can answer.
DK is getting towards not being a week to week player.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll say that.
Yeah, you know what bothers me about DK is you hear these back and forths between him and Pete Carroll, and he's given up on even saying the right thing anymore. Like he keeps getting these stupid penalties because he's a hothead.
Yep.
And now he's like, yeah, that's my game. That can't be your game.
No,
15-yard penalties can't be part of your game.
And costing your team.
Yeah, hurting your team.
Yep.
That was a player that I thought might surprise at the trade deadline, but they didn't. So they're just pushing for playoffs, and they're going to need that piece. We'll see what happens with DK moving forward. Where do you want to go now?
Well, let's since we got the owner here, let's talk Soarin Eagles and Huey. And Huey's already up 22 after a nice night by Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, we've got a Friday show, so the Thursday game has been played. Deontay Johnson catches his first touchdown pass in God knows how long,
Yep.
and Huey Lewis News is up 22. They're projected to take this one in a tight game, 133 to 127. Jordan, does the 22 points scored by Deontay Johnson concern you as we head into the actual Sunday games?
It doesn't concern much as it's just tough to see. You know, I made that trade and we swapped Johnson for Javonte.
Mm-hmm.
And I did Javonte this week. You know, he had a good week last week, and if I could have started that this week against him, I think I would have felt good about it. But now I have to sit there and watch him put 22 up, and I can't lie, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think we're going to pull through. My projection's still high. I got decent matchups this week, and I think I'll be able to pull it through.
All right, Puka Nacua does not crack the starting lineup so far for Huey Lewis. I mean, anything could happen. It's only Friday, but are we seeing that that wave of the Rams receivers end, Walt?
Yeah, I think he's in a tough spot because is Cooper Kupp the right one this week?
You never know.
That right? So yeah. I do like that for against Soarin Eagles. I think the one thing I don't like for them is Josh Jacobs. I got a feeling he's going to have a good game because they're going to commit to running the ball, in my opinion.
Well, they've got a rookie quarterback, so
right.
If you've got Josh Jacobs, you should lean on him a little bit. Hopefully they'll look at Devontae Adams a little bit. That's me selfishly saying that, but I think you're right. Well, they're going to run Josh Jacobs 25 times just to keep some of the pressure off the rookie. And we'll see.
Yeah, but
Soarin Eagles checking out. So we might be back.
All right. What a pleasure.
Thanks for calling in, guys.
Yeah, so I was going to say, but on the other side, sleeper maybe is Nico Collins because Tampa's secondary is not good at all, and I could see him maybe closer to the 20 points. So it's going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah, this is one that I'm looking at to be one of the more entertaining games of the week. And it's got really huge implications. The Soarin Eagles really want to get to that sixth win as we head into the backside of the season so you can breathe a little bit. And Huey probably feels like they're in must-win situation. They're at 4 wins, and you want to eat up wins right now.
Yeah, and if they lose, they could bring other teams back into the equation for that. Because I feel it seems like we're getting a good separation this year.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see maybe the top 5 might be a lock come week 12, 13.
Right.
But that last one, I think, is going to be very contentious.
Yeah, that 4-4 team has a target on its back now.
Yep.
Everyone is rooting against Huey right now. That's down the bottom, but it doesn't mean that we don't love you. We just, we want to do better for ourselves.
That's right. Exactly.
It's purely selfish. All right, where are we going now?
Well, let's talk about another team that's been, down 18, is worst team ever.
Worst team ever.
Against the Rifle.
It's a tale of 2 seasons. Worst team ever sometimes is in first place looking like a juggernaut, and right now they're sitting in 4th place, although they're tied with a glut of teams at 5-3. They're taking on Springfield Rifle. The Rifle are hard luck 2-6 right now in 9th place, and their worst team ever is projected to win 125 to 111. Fairly easy, but Derrick Henry's already scored 18 points. Well, does the Rifle come up and get their desperation win this week?
So the one thing I don't like is the Rifle has Derek Carr. You got Olave or Kamara. So if Carr goes off, it's probably going to be offset or even more to the advantage of worst team ever.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to be one of those guys. I think, I'm pretty sure Indy's secondary is terrible. So Thielen might have a huge game. I mean, it's really, he needs stuff out of Tony Pollard. I think Pollard has to be at least 15 points for a worst team ever to win.
Kamara, last 5 weeks, 21, 18, 16, 29, 26. This is a player that at draft time, we
overlooked.
weren't talking about the 2019 version of Alvin Kamara. People were down on him, and he has been a world beater the last 3-4 weeks. So.
Yeah, and I was one of them. Again, wasn't even sure. I thought he was going to get suspended.
So did I.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought, he might be in jail. Why am I wasting a draft pick?
Exactly.
On him? Yeah.
And 7th ranked running back.
Absolutely.
So worst team ever. Definitely got a lot of value at a bunch of guys. So good for him for finding some of these guys, through the draft and through the free agent.
Yep. People were a little bit down on the prospects of Kenneth Walker. Situations like that. Injury bug has reached out and taken Kyron Williams from him and Justin Jefferson.
And that's a killer. You lose your number one. So 5-3 when your number one pick's been on the bench for majority of the season. He's doing all right, no matter what.
The top pick and the top free agent pickup, and he's still in the mix. 5-3, you're one game out of first place, so that's where you want to be.
Exactly.
All right, where are we going now?
Well, let's look at the Knuckleheads and Moppers.
Oh boy, I did not want to see the Whopper Moppers coming to town this week. Whopper Moppers 6-2, our first place team, projected to go 116, but I can't tell if they've got any issues by a week. Golf course guys are calling back in.
Right.
Jordan, it's good to hear back from you. We're talking about Whopper Moppers taking on Knuckleheads. We just started. The projections have Knuckleheads taking this one 121 to 116, and the Knuckleheads are up 11 after Nick Folk kicked some field goals the other night, last night. So, Walt, does Knuckleheads? This is must-win territory against the first place team. Is this an upset?
I mean, yes, because to me, you cannot have Madison and Cam Akers in the same lineup. That can never spell victory in my mind. So
he is. I think he's trying to improve that position group. But I agree. He's got. If you're looking at Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown, you're not going to get two better wide receivers in a tandem right now. But that running back group might be what drags this team down. Jordan, can you overcome starting Madison and Akers this week?
No, you can't overcome starting Madison and Akers. Genuinely, if Whopper Moppers can overcome starting Madison and Akers, that's on the Knuckleheads. And I'm not going to say that.
I 100% agree.
It's the
you can't
truth.
lose to a team that's starting Madison and Akers.
Yep.
Those are two third-string running backs in a lineup.
I agree. He's got Jacoby Myers on the bench. I'm not so sure. T. Higgins versus Jacoby Myers. What a jump ball.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
You're hoping that Buffalo game is a shootout. I think that's what you do there. And Logan Thomas. This is also another position. He's got Logan Thomas and Jonnu Smith as your tight ends. So those running backs and tight ends. This is our first place team. So we're nitpicking here because I'm not in first place. But wow, these are some weaknesses that need to be addressed.
Yeah, but I mean, when you got Burrow, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, and T. Higgins, I mean, they can make up for a lot of, I guess, deficient areas on your team. So, but I still think I like the Knuckleheads. You got Mostert against KC. I think Mixon against Buffalo is going to have a really nice day.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, I think, is going to have a better day than A.J. Brown because I think the Cowboys are going to focus on A.J.
How do you not at this point?
6 games in a row over 100 yards.
Right.
Or 125.
Right. I mean, you're going to double him and hope that Devontae Smith doesn't beat you.
Correct.
And I hope that Devontae Smith does something to beat them. That's just my hope. But, yeah, I got some good matchups this week. And I'll take my, Barkley has been up and down. He was out with injury, which affects his ranking. Mostert, people were talking about Devon Achane coming back, affecting him, but he was going over 40 points when Devon Achane was in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't see that being a problem at all.
And then Devontae Adams and Devontae Smith, I still like my team. We'll see what happens. This is must win territory for the Knuckleheads. So we'll see. We'll talk about it next week. If I'm 3-6 next week, I'm going to play the bomb graphic because we're too deep in the season. And if Whopper Moppers are 7-2, then they can sit back and cruise.
Pretty much. That means almost a guarantee to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you get that 7th win,
you feel really good.
I'd have to go back in league history to see the last time that I was there, but that's unbelievable. All right, what game you want to get?
Last but not least, the hottest team in the league. The Beans
Boston
versus
Beans.
no lineup.
All right, Boston Beans 6-2, second place, 6 wins in a row, already up 7-0 against no lineup needed. No lineup is at 3-5, and try to take the edge off of that a little bit. The projections have this one going easily to no lineup needed, 128 to 101. Not sure if there's any lineup issues right now.
I don't know what's going on there.
I think there might have almost been a card accident.
Or some kind of altercation. I don't know what's going on.
There's a lot happening there. Gentlemen on the cart, can you weigh in on Boston Beans and no lineup and let us know if you need medical attention?
We're exiting the course. We're saying our goodbyes.
I
This
see.
is all standard.
I see. We were just a little worried. We're concerned. We can't lose 20% of the league in one golf mishap. So
Everyone's safe.
very good.
That's
very
all
good.
we asked for.
All right. So tell me, gentlemen, collectively, Boston Beans 6 straight wins. Does this continue? When you're 6 straight, yeah, they're in second place. But is this the best team in BARFF?
I think we can say a word at the same time to describe the Beans. Fraud.
Wow.
Every week he says his team sucks. He says he's not going to win, and then he squeaks out a 2-point win. There's nothing to be said about it. It's a fraud team. He doesn't believe in it, so why am I going to believe in it?
Wow. Strong word.
Those are strong words. I will say, to his credit, I do not see Najee in the starting lineup right now. We've been harping on that all week, although, again, he's won 6 straight and I have not.
Najee had a decent day. He should
He
have been in
did,
the lineup.
14.
He did. He put up 14 points. He got in the end zone. Still not loving the Najee. On no lineup is looking for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to erase last week. Walt, does that happen this week?
Yeah, definitely. Against Miami, absolutely. I see this. I think the projections are going to be on. I really think no lineup's got a really good chance, other than I sent them bad mojo by giving them Bijan. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But, I mean, I like the matchups. I don't see how the Beans keeps the streak going. But like these guys say, somehow he finds a way to win.
Finds a way to win. No lineup is in must-win. Are
For
really
sure.
Desperate for that 4th win, and they could stop the 6-game winning streak of the Beans. It's a really interesting story. This should be a really good game. This is my second most favorite game of the week in this group right now. Did we hit everybody?
We did.
All right. So week 9.
Oh, wait a minute. Did we talk about worst team ever?
Worst team? No.
No,
we did not.
my
Yep.
mistake.
Worst team ever.
Oh no, we did. I'm sorry, we talked about.
We did. Yes, we
I'm
talked
slipping.
about Pacheco. Yes.
I think it's the altitude, maybe sickness or something like that.
Yes, you were out in Colorado last week. It was a treat to have you call in. That was unexpected, and No Lineup did a great job.
Yes, they did.
They were ready to jump into that co-host seat, and it was a great show. This has been a unique experience having a call-ins from the golf course, and I think it added quite a bit to the show. So. Sotie, if you guys have Sox fan hidden somewhere in the trunk, and Team Soarin Eagles calling in, that was really a treat. Thanks, guys.
Of course, yep. Just dropped Sotie off on a Colfax app to keep panhandling.
Oh.
He's been having a tough go, so hopefully he has a good night tonight.
At least he's panhandling on Colfax. I can think of a lot of other things that could be going on there.
Yeah, you get desperate,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Money's got to come from somewhere, people.
Yeah.
All right, so that is week 9. This was a lot of fun. Well, thanks for making the long trek. We missed you last week, and we've got an early game, so that KC game is going to be a shootout with Miami, but that's 9:30 a.m. So make sure if you have any lineup adjustments, they're in Germany, so we're going to have another early morning game.
Yeah, and I don't know, because I hate saying this, our clocks change this weekend, so I don't know what that means.
Oh, work-wise, that's going to screw me.
That's gonna, it's messed up.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
Yeah, so
so I was thinking about for the early game. I'm thinking, wait a minute, that might make it easier not to miss it. Right? Yeah, I think so. I always got to think about that.
Disaster. God, the schedule. All I want to do is monetize this podcast, people. I haven't even been able to look at the today. I looked at the app. That's what I was doing. Guys are offering me things over the last couple of days. I'm like, I don't even know who's doing what anymore. So it's hard. All right, that's the show for the week. Thank you everyone for calling in. Walt, again, thanks for coming down.
It's a pleasure.
Great show. Good luck to all.
Good luck, everyone.